Hi everyone, my name is Madam Yani. I think the P1 parents, we just met each other, I think a few months back. Yeah, so the P2 parents, hello. I'm going to start now, let's see. I apologize for a bit of the delay in the timing, and I understand that some parents are actually in the P1 P2 form teacher time much earlier than what was started. Then the teachers could start. Okay, because some of the parents were actually in the principal session just now. Okay. Okay, let me just do a slideshow. Give me a minute. Okay. All right, I just would like to welcome everyone to our session today. From the P5, P6 now is to 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is actually a more fun level, but even then, it is actually a very important level where we actually lay a strong foundation in numeracy and literacy for us to move on to upper primary. Okay, we would also like to use the time, this foundation time, to nurture the whole child in terms of their knowledge, their life skills, their social behavior, and as well as their values. So what I'm going to be sharing today is 4 key things, some key information for our P1 and 2 level, lesson focus, LWT, as well as partnering with parents. Okay, how we can work together for the benefit of the children. Okay, learning with technology, LWT, P2 parents should be familiar with it, but P1 parents, you may find that this term is very new. All right, learning with technology is actually set aside some days. Okay, I just show you these dates were shared earlier by my principal. These days are actually set aside for children to actually use technology, to use the platforms that has been taught by our teachers in school to try and explore different applications. Okay, one of the websites that we use is actually the SLS. Everyone in the school for P1s and P2s have already been given their SLS accounts. Okay. These are some of the P1 and P2 LW routines. If you had gone to the P1 and 2 form teacher session, you may know that these are some of the platforms that we will be using. Like what I mentioned just now, the SLS, the Student Learning Space, which is actually provided by MOE. For our school, we have this platform called the Qubits for learning of maths. This is actually to also inculcate independent learning for the children. And there are times when the teachers will also be giving out homework through Qubits. Another one that is new is actually our Google Classroom. For the P1s, they may not be familiar with it yet, but over time, the teachers will be introducing Google Classroom to them. Okay, so in our routines, when we use technology in the classroom, or when we want children to actually use technology at home, we are teaching the children what are some kinds of online learning dispositions that we must have when we are doing work online. So for example, when we want to comment on our friend's work, what kind of words do we use? Or what is the best way to actually comment? So even the primary ones, okay, are able to actually critique or comment on their peers' work. Logging into SLS, we will be actually doing that, and we have been giving the children some exposure to this. And some of the things that we use in SLS, there are a lot of functions in SLS, but for the P1s and 2s, we focus mainly on all these things like multiple choice, free response questions, drag and drop, audio response, how to record, how to actually upload photos. Yeah, and in the SLS platform as well, the teachers and the pupils can actually see the performance of the completed assignment. So when we do SLS assignment, the answers will be actually be given there. Unless, of course, the teachers say it is going to be a test, obviously the answer will not be there, but then there will be prompts and some kind of a question to allow the children to be able to answer some of the work, right? For communication purpose, when we have our LWT, we will actually be giving the children this kind of communication platform, but a hard copy, Okay, so in this hard copy, you'll be able to see what are the different kinds of work that they would need to do. Okay, what are the different? So for example, this is just a sample. Please don't take reference from this for this year. All right, you just have to wait for your teachers to actually give this to you. It's on hard copy, so you do take note of that. So our first LWT is actually in March. Okay, so for example, I'll just give you and show you some sample of the LW task. Okay, for P1 English, one of the tasks that was given, because they learn rhyming words, so creating a 4-line rhyme. And this is actually samples of a real child's answer. Okay, and the teachers are actually able to give feedback to the child based on these responses. So of course, I've chosen a very good one. Okay, so the rhyming words are there. Then for P1, counting items, because this term we learn numbers to 10. We just want to ensure that the children can count and can understand that maths is actually all around us. So counting the numbers of toys that you have, some of them can really count until like, oh, teacher, I have 23 teddy bears at home. And they actually take photo and upload this into SLS. For P2s, we have recording, reading out loud. There's a passage for them to actually read. And for P2 math, it is about budgeting. If you notice, it sounds quite quite hard to answer. You know, they are supposed to actually choose between the different accommodations, the hotels. If you are given $1,000 and you're given this amount of days to stay in a hotel, but some of the children are able to actually tell us how much they have to spend or which hotel they want to choose to be able to spend enough. Some of them even say, I'm going to choose the cheapest hotel. Why? Because I would prefer to use my money to explore the different areas in the country. Okay, so like what Mr. Page said just now, there is no need to actually give us the most correct answer, because what we want to do for LWT is to allow our children to explore, to just encourage them to let us know what they're thinking and how they are thinking such things and why and the reason for them to think that way. Okay, so we would just like you to help us encourage the children. Maybe there are times when you will need to support them because the device that we use in a classroom may be different from the devices that they use at home. So perhaps like taking photo using the laptop or using the iPad may be a bit different from the ones that you use at home. So these are some kinds of support that we would appreciate the parents give to the children rather than giving the answer, giving it the model answer to the children. Okay. All right. So the next part is actually some key information. This is something that I have some questions with regards to this when some parents actually sign up for the session. How is it that our children are being assessed? Okay, because there's no exams in P1 and P2. So since 2019, we do not have any weighted assessments at all. So you will not see any tests. And all the report books, there won't be any marks at all. There will just be this qualitative descriptors and non-academic indicators. For example, English, PE, art and music will actually be retained. So like your A, B's and C's for PE, art and music. But for English, maths and mother tongue, it will all be qualitative descriptor. What do I mean by that? I will actually talk to you about it in my next 2 slides. Okay, the assessment plans for our P1 and 2. The current practice is to actually gather information through different checkpoints to see how children are learning through classroom discussion, in-class work, how they actually approach certain homework, and also bite-sized tests. No assessment doesn't mean there's not going to be any tests, because we also want to see what is it that the children have learned in the class. What is it that they know and what is it they do not know? However, these different checkpoints will no longer count towards any overall mark. So you will not be able to see, oh, my child passed English or my child failed English, that kind of things. It will not be reported. It's just more of a holistic reporting. Okay. Okay, so these are some examples of how we will do things in a classroom. Okay, written assessment will definitely be there. Our class worksheet, how the children do class worksheet in class, how they do their topical review, using manipulatives to actually answer certain questions, to use journaling to let us know how they think about certain things. Integrated tasks are something like reading, conversation. Okay, pick and talk is just something that they pick out from a bag and they talk about it. You know, that's what they do in class. Show and tell, showing to the class how they are able to explain certain things that they have. All right, so these are some of the things that the teachers will be observing and will be interacting with the children so that they will be able to understand where and what the children know and what is it they do not know. So even with the, like I said, the removal of the weighted assessment, we will continue to assess our students. And parents will be kept informed of their child's progress. So if you feel that you need to know more, nothing stopping you from actually contacting the teachers to actually find out a little bit more if you feel that there's a need for you to ask from them. Because instead of waiting for in May, where we have our one-to-one meet the parent session. Okay. This is how it will look like. This is how our reporting will look like now, and it will be by semester. Semester 1, which is in mid-year, and semester 2, which is at the end of the year. The report book will look like this. This is what I mean by qualitative descriptor. You do not see anything like 50 out of 50 or 10 out of 20. You don't have something like that. It's just like telling you these are the things that the children learned this semester and how well that they have learned. On top of that, for Admiralty Primary, we have a holistic report. In this holistic report, there will also be some suggestions, some strategies which we can actually use to help our child to enrich their learning. So if you are not sure of what some of these things mean, you're not sure what are some of the strategies that we talk about in the report, do feel free to find out from the teachers. Okay, this is quite generic in a way that it may not be personalized to your child's learning ability and learning style. So by finding out more from your teachers, it will help you work together so that it will be a better learning experience for your child. Okay. All right, so this is our Edusave Merit Bursary and Good Progress Award. This is some questions which I have actually received from some parents. You can actually find this out more on our MOE website. DAMB is actually our Edusave Merit Bursary for P1 and 2. GPA is actually our Good Progress Award. And these are some of the criteria that we have for these two different awards and bursary. And as you can see here, I actually took this out from our Pupils Companion book. And these are some of the learning dispositions that we would like to see our children embrace and show. Yeah, and so we are using this as one of the criteria for the merit EMB as well as the GPA. All right. Okay. So for us, for our team, we really believe that parents and school really need to work together to have a common understanding in ensuring that our students and our child actually develop holistically, not only in terms of academic, but their character, their social behavior, and their values as well. So through this partnership and shared responsibility, we hope that we can see an increase in the achievement and the success of all the children in our school. And that's what we hope to see for every one of the children who pass through 1 and 2 to go up to 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and eventually into secondary school. One such way where we would like to partner parents is our lesson focus. It's actually a document that you can make reference to for the different subjects, English, Maths, and Mother Tongue, to get to know what is being taught in our everyday lesson. All right, and you can also use this document to reinforce the classroom learning and to also help your child to practice at home. Okay, I'll just give you an example of how it looked like. Right, so this is for mathematics. There are some objectives that we have written there. So this is what the children needs to know. And of course, the maths vocab. Okay, because in maths, we teach our children to use the correct vocab to be able to communicate about certain things. Okay, English, we also do the same. There's also a lesson focus for maths, English, Chinese language, Malay language, as well as the Tamil language. Where do we get this? Okay, every term, it will be uploaded into our school website. It is under the level matters, where you'll be able to see all the different lesson focus. So lesson focus for term 1 is up. So it will be uploaded by terms, depending on how far that the teachers are able to actually complete the syllabus. So everyone will be, regardless of which class they are from in P1 and P2, this is what we are going to cover. all right, by the end of the term. So I would like to seek everyone to actually work with our teachers to seek to clarify certain things if you're unsure. Let your child learn to be accountable and take responsibility for their own learning. Encourage and support the children. And like what Mr. Pick said just now, let them make mistakes. So I would like to use these 3 words. Ask the children what they have learned today, even if they could say, today I learned how to jump during PE. So you know that's something that they have take away from the lesson. Encourage them. Encourage every little successes they have shown you. Even though to you it's very minor, it's very little, but to the child it's actually something to be proud of. And of course, to praise the child, you know, for the effort that they have put in, even though they didn't do well for certain things, but I think the effort is really there, and children would really like to hear the praise from the parents as well. Okay. I think just now I talked about the Meet the Parent session, our parent-teacher meeting. This will be our one-to-one session. It will be on 30th May and 31st of May. You will find that this date is very familiar. It's actually our second LWT dates. Okay, so during this time, when the teachers are actually having our Meet the Parent session, the children will actually be doing LWT task. Okay, so don't worry, more details will be given nearer to the date, like how to book a session with the teachers, what are the things what are the timings, and what are the different administration details. Okay. Okay, this is just something that I thought I would just like to advertise from the MOE Facebook Live. These are some of the sessions for the upcoming Facebook Live session, beginning a new school season, goal setting and raising independent learners. So the panel for this session is actually the principal of Chihua Primary and also a certified parent coach. So you can actually hear from 2 professionals of how or certain tips that you can actually listen to on how parents can help their child set meaningful goals and also to raise them to be independent learners. So if you are interested, do actually go to their Ministry of Education Facebook to RSVP your interests. Okay. I think before I end, I would just like to say Happy New Year to all our Chinese parents. I know it's a little bit in advance, okay? But it's just, I also take this opportunity to remind parents, Monday, 31st of January is actually our Chinese New Year Eve. I know Monday we start at 10 o'clock, but on that day, 7:40 to 10 o'clock is our school hours. We do our Chinese New Year celebration on Chinese New Year Eve. So please don't send your child at 10 o'clock because all of us will be going home. Okay, do send your child at 7:40 and please wear a normal school attire. There's no need for you to wear a red or Chinese New Year costume on that day. Okay, so just a reminder, please send the child at 7:40 instead of at 10 on 31st of January only. Okay, it's just 31st of January. All right. So I think that's the end of my session, but I think I would just like to take one, so let's see some question. Okay, where can we view the slides again? These slides will actually, not the slides, the video recording of these sessions will actually be uploaded into our Facebook Live, Facebook page. Yeah, Facebook page. Okay, so this is a place where you can have most of the recordings, even our town hall session will all be actually uploaded there. So for our form teachers session, the recording will actually be on your different platforms. For example, Class Dojo, teachers will actually be posting the videos over there. But for the year head session, it will be on our Facebook page. All right. Okay. All right, I think most of the question has been answered by my principal. Okay. All right, I think P2 is Qubits new. Qubits is not new. It is actually the same as what we have from P1 last year. The only thing is some of the questions may be a little bit different from what the children are exposed to last year. Okay. All right. Let me see. I think there's no other questions. All right. I think I will just pass the time. Thank you very much, Primary 1 and 2 parents.